Hey there, welcome to the channel. If you're looking for an inexpensive ultra-wide-angle lens, this one might be worth considering. The TTArtisan 10mm f2 is a manual lens designed for APS-C cameras. I won't go through those technical details, but I'll show you some images and footages I took on several day trips shot on the Sony ZVE10 as well as the full-frame A7C II on APS-C mode. Now, don't mistake it for a fisheye lens. It's an ultra-wide angle, meaning you can capture stunning landscape or architectural shots with minimal distortion. For shooting trees in a forest or showing the magnificence of the nature, it does an amazing job in my opinion. But if you're shooting something that is flat, you might notice some slight barrel distortion. The corner sharpness isn't the greatest, but good enough for me. For this kind of ultra-wide-angle perspective, you'd definitely want to get closer to your subject in order to show how imposing it is. 10mm APS-C is equivalent of 15mm full frame. Now, if we compare this with the full-frame Viltrox 20mm f2.8 lens on Sony A7C II, you can see how much of a difference there is between 15 and 20mm focal length. At the wide-angle side, even 1mm matters. It is a full manual lens, but since it's ultra-wide-angle, it's not difficult to focus at all. More than 90% of the time, I just set the focus to infinity and it would work very well. Unless when you need to take close-up shots, that's more tricky and requires more precision. The closest focusing distance of this lens is about 25 centimeters. It's not particularly impressive for a wide-angle lens. You probably cannot get too much background separation even when shooting at f2. I suppose this is the case for all kinds of wide-angle lenses, so it's nothing to complain about. On the other hand, you can easily get beautiful Sunstar, stopping down only to f4 and there it is. But it's also got flaring easily. I like the shape and color of the flare though, so it doesn't bother me. It's kind of like using a cinema lens. You might wonder if it can be used as a lens for vlogging. Well, I can tell you, yes, it works, but I wouldn't recommend it. First of all, for vlogging where the focus is often on the vlogger themselves and requires more frequent changes in focusing and framing, a lens with manual focus and an extremely wide field of view might not be as practical. And due to its manual focus nature, you won't be able to record any gyro data for catalyst browse. So in my opinion, it's great for video shooting, but not ideal for vlogging. Constructed entirely of metal, it boasts a well-damped focus ring for precise control. It also comes with an interesting feature. At first glance, you might mistake this for a lens hood, but it's actually a filter holder. It allows you to attach a filter on it, but I suppose it can also serve as a lens hood, and there is a screw-on lens cap included. If you prefer not to use the filter holder, a rubber lens cap is provided for lens protection, which I find quite handy. When considering whether this lens offers great value, it's worth keeping in mind that the closest comparable autofocus lenses are 3 or even 4 times the price. For example, the Sony 11mm and the Sigma 10 to 18mm both come at a significantly higher price point. And even the Lowa 9mm f2.80D lens, which is a manual lens, costs more than twice the price of this lens. For an ultra-wide-angle lens like this, it's unlikely to be your everyday lens. It's reserved for specific occasions. Therefore, despite its optical flaws, At this price point, it's entirely acceptable for me. I would love to know how you think about this and whether you consider this a good deal or maybe you have a better wide-angle options to share with us. Leave a comment below and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.